We bow before your throne. You are the glorious God.
Go ahead and give it unto the glorious God. Magnify his name. Glorify his name. He is the wonder God. He is the Lord of Lords. The King of Kings. The I am that I am. Brethren, let's worship the God. Let us magnify his name. He is the glorious God. He is the reason why we are alive today. He is the reason why we are not consumed. Magnify his name. Bow before his throne. Magnify his name. Bow before his throne. Worship him. Worship him. Worship him. Come on, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and worship him. Go ahead and worship him. Praise the Lord. Bless the Lord with everything that is within you. Bless the Lord. Bless him. Bless him. Bless him. Bless him. Many started this year because this hour they are not their logo. It's not because we are righteous. It's not because we know about. But it's by his mercy that we are not confused. Worship his Lord. Worship him. Worship him. Worship him. Sing a new song unto him. Sing a new song unto the Lord. Sing a new song unto the Lord. This is the Hemba month. This is the first Thursday in the month of September, the ninth month. This month will surely deliver goodness unto you, unto your household, unto everything that pertains unto you. Somebody worship him. Somebody worship him. He is worthy of our praise. He is worthy of our praise. Thank you, Jehovah God. Thank you, Father Lord. You are worthy of our praise. Jesus, you are worthy of our praise. You are worthy of our praise. Somebody bless the name. Bless the name of the living God. He is worthy. He is worthy. He is worthy. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You are worthy of our praise. All the time you are good unto us. You are the unchangeable changer. Father, you change them through. We worship you. We worship you. Thank you, Jehovah God. In Jesus' name we have worship. In Jesus' name we have worship. As a living soul, in Jesus' name we have worship. Amen, somebody. It doesn't matter whether we have instrumentalists or not. All we know is that we are already blessed with a natural instrument of praise. So I want you to use that thing that the Lord has given unto you. Your hand, clap together. As you are clapping, the hope of heaven are rejoicing with it. Let somebody shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen. I heard right now that someone is not going back the same way he has come to life.
Amen.
You see, when God wants to move in a mighty way, He's not moved by numbers. He's not moved by figures. He's moved by those that are destined that they want to bless tonight. So I congratulate us in the night, in the house tonight. Quickly, before we take few prayer points and we go into our administration for tonight, I want us to take this song. Do not allow me, Lord. Do not allow me. Do not allow me,
Jesus, to go empty-handed. Do not allow me. Do not allow me. Do not allow me, Jesus, to go empty-handed. Oh, do not allow me. Do not allow me. Do not allow me. Allow me, Jesus, to go empty-handed.
you will say, my Father, my God.
My Father, my God.
My Father, my God.
My Father, my God.
As I have come into your presence tonight,
Come into your presence.
do not allow me to go back empty-handed. In the name of Jesus, let us turn into prayer. Oh Lord our God, we pray tonight as we have gathered in your presence. Do not allow us, Father, to go back empty-handed. While you are blessing people tonight, do not let us be left behind. Father, visit our situation, visit our home, visit our family. In the name of Jesus, Do not allow us, as we have come tonight, Father, don't let our coming tonight be a fruitless effort. Don't let our coming out tonight be a wasted effort. Do a new thing today, the first day in the ninth month of this year. My Father, my God, Father, visit us. Visit us, O Lord. While you are visiting others, visit our home. Visit our family. Take control. Take preeminence. In the name of Jesus. Thank you, Jehovah God. In Jesus' name we have prayed. In Jesus' name we have prayed. We are still praying. You will say, oh Lord, I thank you,
Lord, I thank you
for bringing me and my family into the ninth month of the year. In the name of Jesus, let's come into prayer. Oh Lord, we thank you. We bless your name for bringing every member of all this family into the ninth month of the year. Father, we thank you because we know and we believe this month shall deliver great testimony unto our family. This month shall deliver great testimony unto our household. In the name of Jesus, we thank you, O Lord, because as we enter the ninth month of the year, we shall not leave this month the same way we have entered. We shall exit this month triumphantly and bountifully in all good things, as family, as individuals, in the name of Jesus, as a church, in the name of Jesus. Thank you, ancient of days. In Jesus' name we have prayed. In Jesus' name we have prayed. And so our Father and our God, we thank you one more time because you are the Lord that is worthy to be praised. Our Lord and our God, as we have gathered in your presence tonight, Daddy, visit our situation.
Amen.
Minister greatly unto our needs.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus,
Amen.
we pray, Father, by the time we shall be living here, let us all go back home, richly blessed. In Jesus' name we have prayed.
Amen.
Amen and amen. And let the living shout, hallelujah. Amen. Somebody. God bless us. God bless us. Let's have a seat. Let's have a seat. It is an awesome moment to be in the presence of the Lord one more time. And I count it as privilege to also be here standing on this podium ministering unto us. I want to appreciate God for what God is doing in the Empowerment Center. I also appreciate God for what God is doing in the life of all the brethren and those that have visited us. I want to appreciate God. This is a place to be, Empowerment Center. I also appreciate God in the life of all our pastors, our ministers, all the natural good department. We bless God because this ninth month, God is set to do great things in our lives.
Amen.
God is set to do great things in our midst.
Amen.
God is going to turn around all our situation for good in Jesus' name.
Amen.
The number 9 is significant with the word delivery. You know, whenever a pregnant woman go into a labor room or to deliver, she must push. And this month, God is going to push out something great and mighty that you have been expecting. Unto you, you shall deliver it safely in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you, Lord. I'm hearing something this hour. Oh Lord, we capacity here. The Lord is saying that it shall not be stopped.
Amen.
It shall not be stopped.
Amen.
Goodness that Lord has prepared for you this month, all this family that are here, Lord is saying that it shall not be stopped.
Amen.
In Jesus' name, we are praying.
Amen.
Quickly, we want to appreciate our pastor wherever he is. He's not in the house tonight. He's somewhere outside Metroplex. God bless him. God will go with him and what he's doing over there. God will give him speedy. God will give him great testimony to come and share with us in Jesus' name. Quickly, let's go into our Bible tonight. Before I tell us what the Lord has for us, He's got for us tonight. And our Bible passage for tonight's program is taken from the book of Acts chapter 23, from verse 20 to 21. Acts chapter 23, from verse 20 to 21. I read. And he said, the Jews have agreed to desire thee that thou wouldest bring down Paul tomorrow into the council, as though they would inquire somewhat of him more perfectly. Verse 2. But do not thou yield unto them, for there lie in wait for him of them more than 40 men. Take note of that. More than 40 men, which have bound themselves with an oath, that they will neither eat nor drink till they have killed him. And now are they ready, looking for a promise from thee. Let me read verse 22. So the chief captain then let the young man depart, and charged him, see thou tell no man that thou hast shewed these things to me. May the Lord honor his word in Jesus' name.
Amen.
May the Lord honor his word in Jesus' name.
Amen.
The title, or should I say the ministration that Lord has for us, is networking. Networking. And by the time we know what this means, at the same time, before we leave here, we shall be praying some prayer points. And I'm not going to hold us more than necessary or more than unusual. So from that verse 20, he says, and he said, the Jews have agreed to desire thee, that thou wouldest bring down Paul tomorrow morning into the council. Take note of the first word. And he said, the Jews have agreed to desire thee, that thou wouldest bring down Paul tomorrow morning into the council, as though they would inquire somewhat of him more perfectly. But where am I going? Verse 21 says, but do not thou yield unto them, for there lie in wait for him of them more than 40 men. More than 40 men conspiring against just one individual. They conspire. What are we saying in essence? When we are talking about the word networking, what is networking? Let me just say it that way. Networking is defined as an act of connecting, let me use the IT terms, connecting more systems together. But in the context of this Bible, it is from one party to the other, from figure 1 up to number 40. They connect together, sending signals unto one another, connecting from different locations, laying a seed for just one individual. Networking. So in modern world today, it's interconnected. That is, it is linked together through means of technology. But we don't need technology as at that time. All they just need is just to pass information. But nowadays, you disintegrate information through what? Through data. Passing the message, you don't need to be there in person before you gather information. It's from one spot to the other. And everything is all in the cloud. Networking. So I asked myself this question. If everything could be in the cloud, then are we safe? There is nothing that is hidden anymore. There is nothing that is hidden anymore. Whatever steps you are making as a believer, some people have already seen it. Where you are going, the move you want to make, they are there. They are conspiring to make sure that you never materialize. Networking. And when we are talking about networking, today we'll be dealing with physical networking and spiritual networking. Today we'll be studying on physical and spiritual networking. Spiritual networking varies from one area to the other. From our text, we read that in a group of more than 40 Jews conspired, sharing intelligence, and also placing themselves under oath. What a wicked word. Under oath. Just because of one person. Now let me ask, what have Paul done unto them? Why? Why are they placing themselves under oath? That shows how far human being can go. just to make sure that they get someone that is being a terror out of their way. If you are fasting, the kingdom of darkness are also fasting. They are linking one another together. They don't need to be in a particular location. They don't need to stay there. They are getting one another informed one way or the other. You, this is what you need to do. You go to those sports. You do that. Oh my God. Networking. Just because of one person, 40 Jews conspire, sharing intelligence, and also placing themselves under oath, so that they went further that they neither eat nor drink until they have someone killed. A man like them that they cannot manufacture. A man like them that they cannot bring their nose free to become life unto. And here they have they united, they network together to make sure that this man will never leave. As men that are conspiring against your life, against your destiny, I decree, I declare, by the power of the Lord, they shall fail in Jesus' name.
Amen.
They were strangers. They don't even need to know themselves. They don't need to know themselves. It's also for someone. We can pass it to them. Elia Kazun to Rika Santa Rika Santa. Who are those people that hate you, this particular individual, with passion? They just don't want to see your face. My Lord, my God, I stand on the altar of prayer this hour. Elia Kazun to Rika Santa Rika Santa. I release the word, Father, out this hour. I say, Father, to all those that are conspiring against this particular individual, oh Lord my God, whatever the move they are making concerning this particular person, Lord, send your fire upon them in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Let them be consumed
Amen.
by your fire.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus
Amen.
Christ. 40 people. You don't need to know them. You are in their midst, working day and night. You are in their midst. You sleep even in their midst. You eat in their midst. They know you, and you don't know them. The heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can know it? Except God open up your eyes to see who your enemy really is. That is when you'll be able to just try and just deviate a bit or run away, especially from that particular area. So what are we talking about? We are talking about networking. Networking. When we talk about the word networking, I think I've explained it, and I believe that we all have the clarity of what it means. It's all involved sharing of data, or involved for you to go to the next. Okay, let me just use the marketing terms now. Networking, you know, there are some businesses that you have to do. You must bring someone under for you to move on to the next level. So that's another form of networking. But tonight we are looking into 4 types of networking. We'll be looking into networking through families. That is 1. Then 2, networking through the church of God. And thirdly, networking through territorial powers. And lastly there, networking through friends. Networking through friends. Number 1, networking through families. To know what networking through family is all about, we open our Bible to the book of Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10 verse 36. From the book of Matthew chapter 10 verse 36. This makes us to have a better understanding. Matthew chapter 10 verse 36. It makes us to have a better understanding. It states that the enemies of man is a member of his own household. That's what I've been saying. The enemies of man is members of his own household. His own household. That is, this leads us to a perfect example from the book of Genesis 27, 5 to 10. The enemies of man. That is a perfect example. which leads us to another particular Bible passage from the book of Genesis chapter 27, verse 5 to 10. Brethren, this is a story about this Genesis 27, verse 5 to 10. This is a story about Rebekah. The scripture records that intelligence was shared by Rebekah after listening to Isaac about the first class blessings Isaac was going to release unto Esau. Intelligent. He heard Isaac while he was discussing with his son. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that. Then what happened? He went ahead. You are sitting here snoring. You were sleeping here. When your father is about to do something for you, so and so, you can imagine networking, sharing intelligence, sharing the data she has received, first class data to her son. And what happened? Isaac talked to Esau about the blessing he was going to bless Esau with in the presence of the Lord. But Rebekah and her son Jacob joined forces together. They team up together to make sure that Esau never received the first class blessing from Isaac. I decree, I decree by the power in the name of Jesus, as many that want to rob you of the first class blessing that the Lord has destined for you, by the power of the Lord, they shall fail in Jesus' name.
Amen.
You, that family, you shall not miss your blessing.
Amen.
You shall not miss your blessing.
Amen.
It belongs to you. You shall enjoy it to your old age in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
So shall it be in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Networking will take place through families, especially those that come from polygamous family. Let me tell you, no matter the law, two women can never live under one roof, married to a particular, just one individual. Two or more women, whether you like it or not, whether they are faking it or not, there will always be crisis. Whether you like it or not, there will always be problem. And this problem arises through the wives. One may not want the daughter or the son to be greater than the other. When we are talking about networking through families, this happened. I heard this. Your father said so and so. In the case of Rebekah, that was what happened. And the son heard it and then acted, and her son heard it and acted on it, conspiring together to make sure that Esau lives our blessings. You, this family, I'm saying one more time, what rightly belongs to you, you shall not miss it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Networking through families. Number 2, we'll be looking at networking through the church of God. Someone will be asking, how is that possible? Networking through the church of God. It is possible, my brothers. It is possible, my sisters. Networking can happen at anywhere and any particular point in time. The spiritual networking that we are talking about in the church of God are always more than what you can always phantom. They are always more than what you can imagine. Spiritual networking in the church of God. That is why the Bible revealed to us in the book of Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 7. Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 7. The Bible revealed to us that Nehemiah was a devoted member of God's army. Nehemiah was a devoted member of God's army. As a matter of fact, he was so committed to the extent that he went all the way out to do extraordinary things for the Lord. In verse 7 of that Nehemiah that we are looking into, Nehemiah chapter 4. That verse 7 of that Nehemiah chapter 4, the Bible records that 5 groups raised up against him.
Amen.
5 groups, they raised up against Nehemiah. We are talking about spiritual network in the house of God. Do you know that there are some churches, when their pastor is sharing his or her vision, this is what I want to do, this is our vision for the church of the Lord, they are already there. There are some, they call some group formal and informal groups. They are there. When we are talking about formal and informal groups, the formal ones are those that flow along with the vision of the church. The informal groups are those that are already waiting to antagonize that vision. The varies 5 groups rise up against Nehemiah. And if we go into that particular book, the Bible mentions the 5 people the 5 people are Sanballat, Tobiah, Arabians, the Amorites, the Ashdodites. Take note of them. They were the first 5 people from the Bible that rise up against Nehemiah. They networked together against Nehemiah by telling one another that the work Nehemiah was planning to do, he was not, it's not going to complete it. That the project was going to be a failed project. They want to make sure that this project was going to be a failed project. But I have good news for you. Because we serve a God that is greater than the greatest. We serve a God that is greater than numbers, that is greater than figures. The Nehemiah was able to complete that project.
Amen.
Walking through the house of God. We have them. Let me just keep up this piece of advice. If the Lord has placed a small boy to be a leader, all we need to do is to support him. It's not for us to start asking, how old is he? How old is she? When did he join this church? When did she join this church? I've been a deacon before he was born. I've been a deacon before she was born. Those are just titles. The Lord is working out the best for you. So why are we kicking against the vision of the church? There are some, they even class themselves. Oh, I don't belong to that group. You see those groups? No, they are not my class. The other people, they are not my class. All they are just to do is just to make sure that the work of God never progresses. But they've lost the battle. Because our God is greater than the greatest.
Amen.
And mightier than the mightiest.
Amen.
They conspired against Nehemiah, but they failed. They were so angry that Nehemiah was going to build up this project, was going to finish it. They were very, very angry. But the Lord disappointed them. I pray God will disappoint all the enemies of the church in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Look, many are in the church of God today, in which what they care about is just to join forces on how to destroy God's anointed, on how to destroy the giftings. They are in the church, but I thank God they are not in the empowerment center.
Amen.
The empowerment center is a unique church, it's a family church.
Amen.
It's a place of destiny fulfillment. Those that we want destiny not to be fulfilled, they don't even know the address of this place. Like, not even talk about coming to this place. And they will never know the address of this place. This group of individuals, they are limited to congregation alone. It also happens when we are talking about spiritual networking. This also happens among the pastors, among the ministers, the church workers, and even church members, which are mentioned. How? When we are talking about pastors, in fact, I don't need to tell you more. It's those that are already in it, know what it takes to be a pastor. When you call someone a pastor, that's why you must pray for your pastors as well. What the fire that they're also passing through is more than what you can even see. It's more than what you can see. They are also facing a lot from their co-pastors, from their co-anointed men of God. Let me just say it. Networking, this spiritual networking happens everywhere in different manners. It happens. Networking through the church of God. Ministers, church workers. Let us unite ourselves together. When we unite ourselves together, I'll call that positive networking. You will see things going all the way for us. If you are seeking the goodness of your colleague, of your co-ministers of God, definitely I don't want you to forget something, a fact, that you are a minister of God as well. That means you are also in the ministry. You will not be a parish pastor, but because you are a pastor, you are a minister, God has placed something to your hand as well. The more you seek it, the goodness of others, the more God is going to water your whole life as well.
Amen.
And you too will be blessed. Will be blessed. That's the way God works. That's the way God works. That's number 2. We are talking about networking now. Number 3. The third type of networking we'll be talking about. This is a territorial networking. Territorial networking. This has to do with territories. It has to do with locations. Territorial networking. And a Bible passage for that is taken from the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Here, Paul was not unaware of Satan's schemes. He knew them in order to combat them. Was he unaware? He knew it. So that he could combat them. According to that 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. He knew. Furthermore, it reminds us that Jesus had to bind the strong man. He had to do what? Bind the strong man. Amen. Before he could enter into a strong man's house. That's right. That's the territorial powers. Amen. You don't just go there and take it. No. They are already there. The territories. When the Bible records that the earth is of the Lord and the fullness thereof. So what were they doing there? Somebody asked me. After all, Jesus has the right to go in freely. Am I communicating? Mm-hmm. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir.
Jesus has the right to go in freely. When someone asked me, why would he have to first bind the strong man before he can enter the house? Because there are territorial powers occupying that particular location, occupying that particular slot. Jesus has to bind the strong man. Note, the house is the territory. The house Jesus Christ bind was the territory that was controlled by Satan himself. The strong man has to do with a demonic attachment in form of idols or gods that were present in that particular territory or location. the strong man, represent what? Gods or idols that have to do with that particular territory, with that particular nation. There were with this territory could also be geographic. It also could be geographic in localities, territories we are talking about. They conspire together. They are not, when we are talking about networking, it doesn't have to do with one. Remember, when Jesus Christ was casting out demons, he asked the name, what is your name? What was the response? He said, the demon replied that the legions. What has that got to do? That means they were many, uncountable, numerous. Territorial networking. So whenever you find yourself in a particular geographical location, although it is written, wherever the sole of your feet shall step upon, what happens? You are possessing me. But is it by mouth? No. You have to take action. You have to do what? Take action to possess the land. Take authority over it. Not just saying it with just using words of mouth. No. You take action. I used to know a particular story building far back in Africa. Not that I also saw the house precisely. The house, as beautiful as that house is, that house is now empty. The house is now empty. Why? There were territorial powers that were living in that house. And the origin of that house has to do with unclaimed money. I used to see that house, very beautiful. I now find out from my investigation, this house, as big and beautiful as this house is, why is it that no one was living in this house anymore? Then I find out that that house, the former resident occupant of that particular house, said that in the night, I think around 3 a.m., anything from after 12 a.m., they used to hear footsteps in that particular building. And by the time they wake up in the morning, not you. By the time they wake up in the morning, they will see footprints. And those footprints were stained with blood. We got to a situation whereby most of the occupants in that building were dying one after the other. Why? The genesis of that land where the house was built, someone was used as a ritual and buried on that land before they built the house on it. As a result, the spirit of that particular individual that was killed and buried on that land was the one afflicting the occupants of that house. This is not something that I had a story about. It's a particular house I used to know then. Very beautiful. Something is happening under this people of God.